It's go time.
I'm in the elevator down going, what?
Not bad for a free continental breakfast. And here's the line for the bus today. It's about 9:35. The convention opens at 9:30, so it's already open. This is the DoubleTree by Hilton, which is not close to the convention by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, it's close in real life terms, but it's not like I could walk there or anything. And but it does have a free shuttle bus, like most hotels that are included in the, I don't know what you call it, pantheon of Comic-Con stuff. And so now I wait. Now the bummer is it's sort of at the end of the line, so with all these people ahead of me, I might have to wait more than one bus to get on. The good news is it's a quick ride into the con because we're the last stop. The bad news is on the way home we're always the longest ride. Also, that continental breakfast, while it looked nice, tasted disgusting and watery. But free disgusting and watery. And there goes the first bus, as predicted. Well, I got on the second bus, and these are the people trying to get on this one. Hopefully they all make it. And we're on our way. All right, I just got off the bus. It's a little after 10. This is the area all the way down from the convention center by Petco Park. Petco Park, I believe, is this thing here, stadium, whatever you want to call it. And they always have little areas over here. They have a lot of off-site stuff, but this area seems to be a lot of like cell phone companies and 7-Eleven selling alien Slurpees and things like that. Usually it's a bunch of free stuff. The lines are not as bad as inside. And I talk a lot about people who live in the area or can get down here. Even if you don't have a ticket, there's stuff to do. You could run around, and it's basically like a comic book fair where there's a lot of free stuff if you're willing to wait online. I will probably hit that at some point, but it's not a priority. To give you a better scope of it, that's where we got dropped off. That's the huge footbridge. And to the right here is the convention center. And on the left is Hall H, which is where all the gigantic panels happen, where people camp out the night before to get like Doctor Who tickets or whatever. I'm going more towards the middle right side. That's the main entrance to the main show floor. My original plan today was to get here around 7 to get online for Hasbro tickets to get their exclusives. Two reasons I didn't do that. One, I later found out you had to get here at 6, and even that's not a guarantee because that's just when people start lining up outside, even though the show doesn't open until 9:30. The other reason is I got maybe 4 hours sleep last night and drove 10 hours and ran around last night and was just exhausted. Even getting up, I got a full night's sleep now, but it was still just difficult to get up. The other thing is I've gotten Hasbro exclusives every year I've come for the past however many years and never stood on that early line. Usually I get lucky, and if I don't get lucky, there's nothing I can't live without. So the question is, what am I going to do as soon as I get into the con? Well, I'm probably going to head over to Bluefin first because Q and a friend of mine want the SH Figure Arts Goku figure, and usually they're hard to get, but there's not a line outside, so I'll check and see if I can hop on that line. But not spend too much time because, as I said, it's after 10, and there is a panel with comic artist Walt Simonson at 12, which I very much want to see. If you remember this road from last night where there was almost no one and most of the stuff was closed, now it's all filled up. There's some kind of free protein drink, a Ninjago dance party, and a bunch of characters. The crowd was kind of bunched up over there because they were having that dance party and they were giving away free drinks, but it actually thinned out a bit over here. So it is still early and it is a Thursday, so maybe today won't be that bad as far as crowds go. And we're in the lobby for day 2. There's a Captain America and a Deadpool and some sort of, oh, that's a pretty good Tony Stark. Tony Stark is a popular one because if you get a goatee and sunglasses, almost anybody can look like him. And look at this, we're back on the show floor. Once again, it's crowded. More crowded than yesterday, but not Saturday. Ooh. You know, I'm not a gigantic fan of the new movie. I didn't hate it, but they look cooler when they're lit up like that. And they didn't seem so lit up in the actual movie. Regardless, we press on to Bluefin Tamashi Nation. This is the Bluefin line right here. As you can see, the line is capped. The actual booth is over here. This is what happens a lot that I kind of learned after coming here for a few years is I would find the Bluefin booth. It's over there. Go to it, they'd tell me to go find the line, then I go looking for the line. Now I just look for the line. And what happens is the line's capped, but it's not like they're done for the day, but they can't block this area. So security will keep telling them to move people up, but if you hang out in the area, eventually you can get on the line. While I'm waiting in the area, here's a preview of some of this they have. Most of this stuff, well actually, I don't collect Mario, I think that was released. And here's the SH Figure Arts Suicide Squad. Apparently they've started doing WWE wrestlers. This set I was tempted to get, but I got the NECA set, so I'm good on my Turtles now. And then these are kind of the competitors to Pops and Q and everything else. It's funny, there's all these masks and normal like Halloween costume type stuff, and then they've got this amazing Darth Vader statue, which actually, as I get closer, is not as amazing as I once thought. The proportions are a little strange. I feel like this is from Revenge of the Sith. It's pretty neat looking, but yeah, like, I don't know. It's just oddly proportioned. It's like an action figure as opposed to David Prowse or whoever in a suit. This is at the Tamashii Nation's Bluefin booth again, and this is what I need for my house. There's a destroyed Mazinger Z up top, which I would really like, but the price on it is kind of ridiculous for what it actually is, which is just a almost like a customized version of the figure they've already released. And Mothra is pretty awesome. I think these are Sailor Moon Crystal? I'm not sure. I'd have to ask my wife. You see the booth proper is much larger. I'm not going to get in there right now because it's pretty crowded and I'm still trying to get back. Look at this. They actually have the figures out where people can play with them. That's new. That's interesting.
Oh yeah, we are.
They've never seen them do that before, but it makes sense. Less than a half hour. I have not been running and I'm already sweating again. It's just a sweaty life. Yeah, again, they have a lot of Halloween masks, which is, I guess if you want a last minute cosplay, but it does seem a weird place to sell them. And I wonder how well they do. Maybe it's good for kids. 11:03, that's Bluefin. Got through all that line, and we're almost there. Hopefully I'll get the pieces and be able to make it to my panel. There is My Little Pony the movie, and there's a big pufferfish dragon. I do not know why. Here's the Gentle Giant booth. Oh, by the way, success! I got the Tamashii Bluefin Nation exclusive Kyoken Goku. I got 3. You're only allowed to get 2, but I made a friend online, which is great because I needed one for Q and I, one for the big dog, and one for another one of our friends. I'm not reselling, but I picked 2 up for extra friends. So mischief managed, all achieved. Now I'm going upstairs to see if I can get to the 12 o'clock Walt Simonson panel. You could. All right, I just came up the escalator. I'm looking for room 9. As you can see, that sign does not tell me room 9. And I asked that person, and they had no idea. So now I'm going to wander around looking in time for room 9. That is a fuel rod machine. I bought one for about 20 bucks, I think 5 years ago. Been using the same one ever since when I come here. I could also use it at home, but this allows me to immediately swap one for a fully charged. So it's pretty good. Definitely got my money's worth. And I've used it, like I said, on bike rides and stuff when I'm home as well. Now I'm walking through the sales pavilion. Over here is the portfolio review area, which I will not be participating in, at least not right now. There's a lot of celebrity signings and things like that. This is also where you eventually get to for tickets to buy exclusives to Hasbro and things like that, although you start outside in the sun for several hours. But I'm making my way across because room 9 is over there, as you could maybe see. Well, good news, it is 11:15. There is no one online for the 12 o'clock Walt Simonson panel, so I have time to go to the bathroom and maybe get a drink of water. Health and restroom accomplished, which shouldn't be an accomplishment, but here at Comic-Con, almost everything is. The lovely part is, as I've talked about multiple times, I'm a spongy sweat, and that is the theme of the con, is sweat. And I was drenched before I went to the bathroom, and I was in a stall, and I came out, and I did wash my hands, whatever, but it occurred to me that the people watching looked at me, saw me come out of a stall, just drenched in sweat, like I had some sort of fierce battle with my bowels, which I didn't, but still, lovely sweat. Anyway, onto the panel. Still haven't got any water. All right, so I'm heading into the panel for Walt and Louise Simonson, but when I got there, it was already running a panel of 50 years of underground comics, which I came in a little bit late for, and it was really cool. And they were doing a lot of things about Zap comics and underground gay comics and all kinds of the like 60s, 70s type of stuff that was, by today's standards, some of it was offensive, but at the time was like progressive and liberal. And here's a quick clip of a story about when they tried to introduce some of these comics to Will Eisner.
He sought me out, strangely enough, because he wanted to learn about undergrounds. As I hinted earlier, he was intrigued by them. And after we talked quite a bit about them in the abstract and the economic and editorial sense, he said, to be honest, I've never actually seen any. Can you show me? So Phil Suling himself was one of the biggest dealers of underground comics. He must have had, 5 tables his size with every title laid out. And I was going to judiciously pick one when he just at random picked, I think it was Zap number 2, and he opened it up to a page by S. Clay Wilson, I think called Captain Piscums, where a pirate has just literally cut a dick off of another pirate and has it on a knife, eating it, and it says, "That head tastes best. All the pages I would have not liked. And so, at this point, Will showed his generational bias, and he blanched. He really did. He was like, whoa, I didn't know the material was this strong. It took a lot of fast talking to get up the back of the platform.
Then that was done, and I moved up a few feet, got a better seat, and it was time for, well, Louise Simonson. Here's some of that.
And I worked out the Frog Rat War, which is really a parody or a satire of my own stuff. It's like any epic storytelling. It's just making fun of that whole thing. But the trick I learned really from Stan and Jack at Marvel Comics, and just as a reader, is that if you tell a story, it can be as outrageous as you can make it, and if you keep a straight face and keep faith with the readers, they'll pretty much go along with you. I don't want to do a story where it's like really stupid and go, well, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, isn't this funny, aren't we clever? I'm not a camp fan. I don't think stuff is so bad it's good. It may be entertaining, but I didn't want to do that kind of a story, so I did a very straight story. I borrowed the alligators in the New York sewers myth.
Good times, and they answered a question of mine about, everyone always talks about Thor, but I'm a big fan of X Factor New Mutants, which they both worked on, and they talked about the inception of the kind of cross title capers, like, the big events that they have now, but at the time, now it's all mandated top down, but back then it was very much bottom up, very much writers and artists and editors, and Chris Claremont and Weezy Simonson were pals, and they did the Mutant Massacre, and they said, hey, this will be fun, and let's put this together, and it was very voluntary and very a sense of fun and play, as they said, and then it did extremely well with sales, and then the next summer it was mandated that they had to do one, and Jim Shooter gave them this idea to do, which they didn't like, so they lied and said they had another idea, and all this led to Fall of the Mutants, and then Inferno, and it continues today with these huge crossovers. The difference is back then it was done voluntarily, it was done for fun and to service the story, and it was intentionally made so that you could read each individual book and you didn't have to read the rest. So they basically said, yeah, we did a good job, glad you liked it, sorry we started a horrible trend that exists forever. Here's a bunch of the stuff they have at Entertainment Earth. Not all of it is exclusive, a lot of it is just debut. That's something you see a lot of these shows, like it seems like an exclusive, but it's just first available. And then there's shared exclusives, which Entertainment Earth normally has a lot that are shared with Toys R Us, which you can get on the website or at the store. For example, there is a Optimus Prime Masterpiece, which I am interested in. I don't know if I want it, except I have to sell my old one. It's $160, that's a lot. And normally I would buy it here, but I've done that in the past, and then went back to Toys R Us months later, seen it there for less than retail, and I didn't have to carry it home. So I'm going to make an executive decision, skip it, not spend the money, not have to carry it, and wait and try to get it at Toys R Us for less money later. This is cool. They have the White Walker King. They have all these silicone masks. I've seen these online, but yeah, they're much cooler than the traditional Halloween masks, you'd say. Here's the display of that Coraline I got the other day, and you can see some other Mezco exclusive. This is the Dutch from I would say Punisher, from Predator. And this alien is supposed to resemble the one from the old Ninja Turtles video game, but it's sort of labeled ambiguously since they don't have a license probably. This is a cool little diorama from that new movie Valerian, which I have not seen and know nothing about. The figures are huge. These are quarter scale figures and they're very nice, but it seems like it'd be difficult to have a collection of more than 3 or 4 of these. Like you'd collect the Avengers and that's it or something. And here's the NECA limited edition set opened up, and as you can see, they have all kinds of cool accessories and parts. I'm happy I got it. They have RoboCop vs. Terminator, which was an awesome book, which actually was drawn by Walt Simonson. So here we are on Message, and in the book, RoboCop had made himself a new body out of a Terminator factory, so that's pretty awesome. I'm tempted to get that. Luckily, they're not for sale here now, so I don't have to make that decision. And then some more Rocky and some other Predator and stuff. Oh my God, that is amazing. I feel like maybe that's what they're going to have at the next con. It's the video game versions to match previous ones. I don't like that deco, but if history tells us anything, they'll re-release it with a normal deco. But I'd buy it even if it has to have the video game deco. That's pretty fantastic. Here's the Ash vs. Evil Dead set. I've been trying to avoid these because it's just a whole other collection, but this Ultimate Hero where it has the different heads I think is going to sell me. I'm also looking at the Evil Dead 2 figures, which look better than the McFarlane ones, which I was not a huge fan of back in the day. If you go down here, there's even more. There's Henrietta and other ones from previous movies, and I don't know what the puppet's from. I guess that might be from one of the newer episodes I'm behind in the show, but that's pretty great. This is a pretty legit Reverse Flash costume. I don't think I realized there was an actual jacket, similar to how Wally's is. And there's like little electricity vein things in them. I can't even imagine what these cost because they're not billed as cosplay or costume, they're replicas. You can see they have Flash back there and Superman from the Henry Cavill movie. And looks like Apocalypse Batman, Wonder Woman. Very cool. Here is the Mezco 1/6. I love that these scale with the Marvel Legends. I hate they cost so much. Some of these have been released already, some not yet. Some are here at the show. Some are better than the others. Like, I feel like this Wolverine looks baggy and clunky, but then Deadpool, it actually looks like he's a guy wearing spandex. Similarly, Daredevil with the armor looks pretty good. So I think it's a very per-piece sort of set. Like, that Spider-Man doesn't thrill me, but the Iron Man looks cool. Over here we got some DC, but Batman Beyond. And Apocalypse is pretty awesome. It looks like he's got piping. Yeah, I'm a fan of cloth clothing, but it seems like some of the cloth clothing works better than others, and the ones that don't have cloth clothing seem to work the best. And of course, in addition to superheroes, they have Star Trek. And there's an Evil Dead figure that I thought I might want, but having looked at the NECA ones, it's actually a better likeness. Even though I like the cloth clothing, I'll be able to pass on that. These Ghostbusters, however, have better likenesses than some of those that I've seen. And then down here, some Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead stuff. It's a good line, it's just a little inconsistent. The best worst thing about Con is all these statues that basically are large action figures that they don't sell, that it's lucky they don't sell. This is actually the inside of the Tamashii Nation's Bluefin booth, where I got the Goku figure before, and this was a madhouse earlier. Now I could actually take some shots. Most of this stuff has been released. The main takeaway I always get from this stuff is, man, I wish I had a display like this at my house. But at the same time, this is wasted space. We need something down here, but yeah. Look at that. Oh, that's pretty cool. These are ones that have not been released yet. So this is pretty awesome. And I know, well, Q's going to want all these, but him specifically. He's Dragon Ball, he's Cat. Ooh, this might be something I want. Nope. Now that I see the price, I think I could skip it, but it's still beautiful. These are a little bit more doable. I think these are from the new show. Oh, they're only 20 bucks each. Yeah, so these are going to be from the new show, which they've been previewing up here, which I hope is cool, but I'm really more excited for the John Boyega movie. You know, now I'm not sure. It's Pacific Rim Uprising, and now I realize that I'm not 100% sure if it's the movie or the show. These are some pretty cool Naruto statue jammers, the effect parts, and then just a bunch of other. They have so many licenses. I just love the displays. Even figures that I don't plan on getting and collections I don't plan on having, the displays are pretty great. I have the Boba Fett back there. I have the Darth Vader. I'm probably going to get rid of him. I'm tempted to get this Jango Fett just to go with my Boba Fett collection. And that Darth Maul's new as well, although I think I could skip him even though he looks cool. Oh, these are new. I didn't know they had a Captain America and Iron Man. They had the Spider-Man before. I don't know why they haven't released any Jedis. And here's Marvel SH Figure Arts. It's a pretty good Star-Lord, pretty good Spider-Man from the new movie. Yeah, these are all pretty nice. They don't quite scale with the Marvel Legends, so they're at a disadvantage as opposed to Mezco, which mixes with Black Series, so you can collect both. Disadvantage in my opinion, obviously. So here's the Four Horsemen area, and they have a bunch of Power Lords. I have gotten all the ones they previously had, and it seemed like the line was dead, and then they brought it back, thankfully, to release the next wave, because they never completed the original character run. And they're showing, they like to do a lot of different versions where they make a molding of like Psyduck, and then they do different heads and colors and stuff to get their money's worth. And also, you know, some people like to buy a couple different versions, and I did too, but I mainly want the main characters. The only bummer about this, aside from the weight, is that like if you look at the 2-up prototypes, that size is amazing, and that would scale with my Masters of the Universe and with my Thundercats. Unfortunately, they do it the smaller size, which didn't stop me from buying them, but is a bit of a bummer. All right, I'm online. This is next to the Dragon Ball thing I did yesterday. They got a semi-replica of the Command Center. Zordon's face should be in there, but they're gonna let you stand in front of a blue screen here and then do a morph. So that's what I'm doing now. The stuff I hate about the convention is when you see, like, these are the Legacy Zeo figures, which I would love to buy right now, but you can't. And then, of course, there's the exclusives, which I don't expect to buy. And from what I understand, this base is actually bigger than the Bandai of Japan one. I kind of want it, but I think I'm going to wait till it's on clearance because it's probably going to be like $100. However, that Gold Ranger up there with his guitar, yeah, he'll be mine as soon as I see him in the store. But once again, none of this can be mine. Either is not yet available for retail or is an exclusive, which I did not want to get online at 6 in the morning to get. So I'm going to get a picture of myself as a Power Ranger for free with very little weight.
All right, Zach, original Black Ranger. What's up? Anybody know y'all know what time it is?
Morphin' time!
What time is it?
Morphin' time!
All right, that's right. It's morphin' time. Blast it up. Woo! because I don't think I could do that.
See this mannequin person? That's a real person. See, he moved. I thought he was a mannequin. He's a real person. I don't know how he's creepy. He's a mannequin. This is at the Gentle Giant booth. These are 12-inch versions of the vintage figures from the 70s and 80s. They're cool looking in a big display like this. I've never felt the need to get one. I imagine they're kind of hollow, but I don't know. They seem like they look like they're made of vinyl or something. And again, I've never really had an interest in getting just one, but all together like this is pretty awesome. And once again, that goes back to the power of displays and how almost anything looks good if it's displayed well. Across from Gentle Giant is Hasbro, where I was briefly yesterday, and they made an announcement, free Transformer posters. So now I'm on this very short line to get a very free poster. And while I'm here and speaking of displays, this is the Marvel Legends 6-inch display. I've seen this before, but I've also seen where they have the smaller figures. It does seem like they're transitioning more and more to the larger figures, and this display would reflect that. I like this weird AIM soldier monster. I don't know if that's something they're selling. It seems like something they just made for the diorama. Similar to a lot of this stuff is custom made, but most of it is just figures you could buy. Pretty awesome. There's always little underneath lightings and side battles going on and everything. This is something I need to do more, is hang my flying figures in the air. Excuse me. And I love this chain link fence, which looks like it wouldn't be too difficult to make if you got some stuff from like a Michael's or a store like that. Sentinel has seen better days. But then again, he is fighting the combined might of the X-Men as well as Captain Britain, who, I don't know, might have been on the X-Men at some point. I have no idea. And there's even more on this side. And again, cool diorama play sets. They're not play sets. They're museum pieces. And the final side of the 6-inch Marvel Legends diorama with my buddy Zarkok and a discotheque. Sure, that is a perfect way to end it. I'm usually not a fan of ridiculous gizmo type stuff that didn't happen in the movies, but I gotta admit, I'm a sucker for effects parts as well. So this fiery Boba Fett.
Being investigated by Convention Center Security. Please remain calm and await further instructions. Thank you for your cooperation. May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? The alarm is being investigated by Convention Center Security. Please remain calm and await further instructions.
Didn't know there was an alarm.
Thank you for your cooperation.
That announcement serves as my alarm. Whatever that was, apparently it's nothing. They just made another announcement saying it's been cleared. Probably somebody opened a fire door or something. They didn't even clear the floor, so I guess we're all safe, or we all died, and now we're in a heaven/hell, depending on what part of the con you're in. In the sort of artist alley area, I guess this is artist alley, but there's always an area over here with more people selling prints, people selling vintage original art, things like that. Artists, as you can see, signing things here, and there's certainly artists, but there's also the representatives and kind of more the merch side, and then paintings, things like that. As you get further to the back, I guess this is illustrators and comic artists, but then actual artist alley is in the back here. I guess special guests are just the famous ones that got to get here for free. And this is where you'll see more just artists sitting with their artwork. Because what I mean by like vintage art, or it's original comic art, but it's not necessarily being sold by the owner, the creator, I should say. The creator might not even be alive anymore. It's more collectibles that have passed down and resold. And then over here is more what really I consider artist alley, where there's a banner, the person whose name is on the banner is sitting down, and they're selling their stuffers. This is one of the last rows in Artist Alley. I've been walking up and down, trying to get a quick look at everything, but it's actually reasonably crowded, even here in Artist Alley for a Thursday. I was hoping I could spend a little bit more time, and I can. I can stop and look at stuff, but I just feel sweaty and want to keep moving. 2 o'clock, and I'm getting pretty exhausted. My throat is getting crispy from talking. I be dehydrated a little bit. I still haven't really got a drink except for one quick sip at a water fountain. I should probably have lunch of some sort. I have a bar in my... I'm tired. I have a bar in my... a peanut bar, like a salty peanut bar, granola bar in my bag, but I don't want to eat that while I'm dying of thirst. So, unfortunately, I might need to leave the floor and actually just go sit somewhere and have a drink, which is a waste. All right, apparently I don't know what I'm talking about, because this is the illustrators and comic artists, and as I pan over, I do see a lot of actual comic artists sitting at their booths and things. So, I don't know what the distinction is. On Arthur Adams' fan page, he had posted art of this Fantastic Four cover expansion recreation. and everybody was saying you should make a poster of it, and he did, and I want to buy it, but I don't have my poster tube, so to be continued. I also might come back and buy one or both of these books of his art, because it has a lot of cool pencils and blue lines and things like that. I went ahead and bought the poster print. It's Fantastic Four, which is not my personal favorite, although Q likes it a lot more, but the art is just phenomenal, and I love that it's black and white. It'll be something I can hang up in my new house, where I have a new room on walls. Art Adams himself was not there, so maybe I'll go back later, try to get it signed. If not, I'll probably go back later anyway.
Energizing, but disgusting.
There's the front door. They've got some ads for Defenders and other things. Will Smith movie, Bright, have not heard of it. Oh, no, Netflix. Maybe it's a show. I don't know. Clearly not the best advertising. I got asked to move because while there was 1,000 people sitting there, they decided to tell them to move right after I sat, which is another thing I expect at Comic-Con. It is difficult to find a place to sit, and they will often tell you to move as soon as you do. As I walk around, I realized that the New Mutants retrospective with Bill Sienkiewicz, if that is how you say his name, is starting in 5 minutes. I don't know if I should hustle up there. Hope I can get a seat like I did with the Walt Simonson thing, but also Q is coming to meet me. I don't know what I'm doing, but there's some Ultraman goodness, so that's nice. I just saw my buddy, who's a fellow artist up from my area, and he has a table here, which I didn't see, because he's not in Artist Alley, he's got an exhibitor booth. It's after 4 o'clock. Q met up with me. We're doing a lot of time in Artist Alley, buying more things now that she's here. She did bring my poster tube, which is good, and my phone filled up, which is why I suddenly cut out the last time I was talking to you. I had to upload the video I made yesterday to the iCloud, then delete it off my phone. Now I have a little bit of space, but I'm still running low on power. But the day is going, how? Sweaty. We already have some of this art at the house, and I suspect we are going to be getting more. This is my view as I wait on the overflow line against the wall. We're waiting for Hasbro. It's almost 5. They just recently opened up the line to non-ticket holders. So we're not too far back, and we still got a little bit of time. So assuming that they don't sell out of things, we should be able to knock out Hasbro today, which would be amazing. And then the few things left that I have to pick up for myself or others would not be difficult to get at all. So yeah, I'm sweating. Well, we're in the actual Hasbro booth line now. You can see we were back up against that wall back there. They walked us all the way over to there, up to there, into there, over to here, up, and here we are. The bad news is the Grand Admiral Thrawn figure, which is right there, is sold out for today, but I'm going to get everything else I wanted, hopefully, so that even if I have to come back here, I'm only looking for one thing, and if I can't get it, it's not the end of the world. Well, I am exhausted. Got all the exclusives except for one from Hasbro. We looked at a few more things. My legs are going to fall off. And Q is entered at a raffle from a person she bought art from that is auctioning off an original piece of art in about 11 minutes, and I could not stand there for 11 more minutes, so I am squatting near the front waiting for her, and then we're gonna go get dinner, and I'm gonna kill myself by standing up. And back at the hotel room, pretty much the end of day 2. Technically, there was another panel or two we could have tried to go to, but I was exhausted to accomplish what I said I was to accomplish. My throat's dying. I am starving. So we're going to take a quick break here, take off some sweats, and make some bathrooms. And then we're going to go have some dinner, maybe go see Spider-Man tonight. Maybe. I don't know. As for what was achieved from the Hasbro booth, this is the Revolution set. Inside, it has figures from all these different properties: G.I. Joe, ROM, Micronauts, Transformers, etc. And here's the inside of the box. It's set up kind of like a book or a comic, actually. This part here is cool. It has the little, hey, here's what everybody is. There's a Jetfire. Now, this Jetfire I already have a chrome version of, so that's kind of the bummer, is that the set, basically, I really wanted this Leorc from Visionaries as a member of the G.I. Joe team, essentially, and this ROM figure, which is fantastic. This is sort of a variation of a Zombie Viper, which I could take or leave. Captain Action, he's all right, but I could take him or leave him. I think this is a movie version of Roadblock, or maybe Renegades. Again, I could take him or leave him. These Micronauts are pretty awesome. Matt Tracker I like. He's from Mask, but I thought I already had him, but I realized this is an all-new, all-different Matt Tracker from the comics, so, you know, a pretty good set, and then I'll sell off what I don't want. I actually just realized that the whole box folds out to be one comic cover. I don't know if this was an actual cover of the comic, which was a crossover event that actually happened. I did not read it yet, or not, but it makes good box art, is my point. What else from Hasbro? This is the Thor Marvel Legends set that I got for the big dog. Let me pull this off. It's got some nice artwork all the way around, but that is just a protector. And then, you know what, this is taped? No, I can open it like some sort of Hellraiser puzzle box. And it's got a pretty impressive lineup of figures, none of which I particularly wanted, but the big dog did, and I got it, and so ribbity-dig ding-dong. Another thing, I got the Hasbro booth. This is also for the big dog. This is Daredevil from Marvel Legends. This is the 12-inch. And I don't think I can open it to show you. No, I can't show you, but basically it's a 12-inch figure of Daredevil, and the exclusive is the box, and he comes with a beat-up face and a cast on his hand and stuff, and that's for the big dog. Other thing from Hasbro, I got one of these for me and one for the big dog. They're dubious. Did I need them? I don't know. It's a 2-pack. Kind of almost feels like an old VHS 2-pack. It's of Master Luke Skywalker and Jedi Training Rey. These are most likely early releases and will come out in a normal box once the movie comes out or shortly before. So really, mostly what I'm paying for is the box and the early release, because these normally go for about 20 bucks each. I paid 54. Now I'm saying with tax, that's another 4. So really, I paid 10 bucks for this box and the ability to have these figures before anybody else. But really, it's worth it for me for this Luke, because I love Luke. He's my favorite, and I've been mad I haven't had this figure since Force Awakens came out. So even though it's not really much of an exclusive, I'm happy to have it. Inside the poster tube, I got this free Transformers poster of Trypticon Titan Master Crunch that's got 67 essential Titan Master power-ups. It's kind of funny, but what I really like about it is if you flip it over, you can fold it to make it into an actual cereal box. So that's great. I've got a couple free DuckTale posters. Yep. This is a My Little Pony print got. This is a My Little Pony print Q got from the artist
Camille DeErico.
that person. And over here, another freebie that Q picked up for me while online for Hasbro. It's just, it's kind of a cool Star Wars poster, but made with action figures. If I get real close, you could see. Charat. And of course, the print from Art Adams that I sort of showed you a little bit before. And you could see how it was a recreation of the Fantastic Four 100. And there was like the actual cover, but then around it, he built it up all over. And it's just such a cool idea. And I just love it. It's so much to look at. I love that it's black and white. I saw it on his Facebook page as a commission, and then he turned it into a print, which I had said he should do, and others did as well, and he did. It was great. What's funny is I went back to get it signed, and he was there, and he was nice and everything, but it had already been signed. Apparently, when he left or something, he had signed a few, and anyway, I didn't have to go back. But whatever, I said hello to the man. Oh yeah, and this is what all the fuss at Bluefin was about. The Son Goku Kaioken version, which basically comes with an effect part behind it. So we got a few of these. We got one for Q, one for the big dog, and one for another friend. I also got another one of those Revolution packs for someone else, which was fine because they let me pick 2, but it was heavy. Adding to what? The sweaty. Anyway, that's it. Video over.